apparently some Australian mining magnates, if that's what you call them, met with Orange Man today. He's going behind our Prime Minister's back, trying to collude with our billionaires, and we don't like that. We don't like that. He's meeting with the oligarchs, I guess.
This is a photo of Donald Trump meeting with Australia's biggest mining bosses in the Oval.
Ew, why are they all so ugly? If I was rich and I was ugly, I would get surgery so I could be hot. Luckily, I'm poor and hot. No, just kidding. But am I? You'll never know, because I'm a cartoon lady. Sorry, I'm so tired.
Office. They were seeking his support for their joint venture copper mine in North America. Australia absolutely has less clout now in Washington, D.C. than it did during the Biden administration.
Less clout? What are we, Insta thoughts? Who cares if we have less clout in Washington? Oh no, the Americans, the crumbling empire doesn't like us. Wah, 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 wah. Whatever, let's be friends with China. They have pandas. China #1.
We have now is not full-blown hostility between Trump and the Australian government. But at best, Anthony Albanese is someone Trump doesn't really think about. And the fact that he invited some mining executives to the Oval Office before our actual Prime Minister is proof of that.
Well, the U.S. is disappointed that nations like Australia, UK, and others have decided to pick this particular time to unilaterally recognize a second state. I think it's...
I can't stress how much of a threat it is for Trump to meet with these mining magnates. The mining industry has caused prime ministers to lose elections, right? When K-Rudd wanted to introduce the mining tax, the mining lobbies, they pay so much for political advertising. They're one of the biggest donors to political campaigns. So it really is a threat. Donald Trump doing that, standing there with those mining executives, is really saying, hey, Albo, look who I'm talking with. It's a very, very thinly veiled threat that if you don't fall back in line, if you don't start kissing the ring again, Albo, I'm going to make sure you are not re-elected. And yeah, it's pretty disgusting behavior. Yeah, sorry we don't support genocide. What did Tony Burke say yesterday? I can't remember what he said, but it was hot. It was a good quote.
Strength is not measured by how many people you can blow up or how many children you can leave hungry.
What did he say? He was basically yeah, sorry that we don't support killing and starving children or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, that was basically it. And Australia is a sovereign nation. We are under no obligation to do what America wants us to do. And it's very interesting how America seems to be under the obligation to do what Israel wants it to do. It's almost like they've got tapes. It's almost like they've got video recordings of every American politician in compromising positions. Dun, dun, dun.
The timing has been very hurtful to any prospects of negotiating some settlement in Gaza with Hamas.
So the United States government has very clearly taken notice of Australia's shifting position on Israel and Palestine. That doesn't change the fact that in our bilateral relationship with the United States, we are the junior partner.
Australia will recognise the right of the Palestinian people to a state of their own.
And taking a position that is so contradictory to them and to some extent offensive to them, that's certainly not helpful for our two-way relationship.
There's an enormous level of disappointment and some disgust.
I think it is encouraging that someone like Mike Huckabee is...
I don't think the country full of obese people that wash themselves with a rag on a stick and have diabetes and probably gangrene because of their diabetes. Have you smelt gangrene before? Let me tell you, I've been around people that have that because of my job, and they smell like they're rotting. So I don't think you should be calling anyone disgusting, because Australians are the best people on the planet at sports per capita, and we're really, really hot, and yeah, we're not fat, and we don't have diabetes. So what should you call disgusting? Okay, how dare you? How dare you? You overemphasize your R's, and you can't talk properly, and you smell like cabbage, and your mother dresses you funny. So why don't you think about that?
Still going on. Australian television is still talking about this to us. I think that is evidence that at the levels below the White House, below the presidency, the diplomatic relationship is continuing much as normal. But it doesn't change the fact that at the top, there appears to be almost no relationship whatsoever between our Prime Minister and their President.
In the last 4 years has been run by a village idiot, competent in its national statecraft, and the United States increasingly incompetent in its national statecraft under Trump.
It is worth noting, Anthony Albanese and our ambassador to the United States, Kevin Rudd, have both said pretty uncomplimentary things about Donald Trump in the past.
I am good. I definitely am good at rants, Raven. I definitely am very good at rants. That is something I excel at because yeah, that's what I do. Kevin07. Damn straight, Delta.
Particularly after he left office the first time, after he lost the 2020 election.
The future of US-China relations under President Trump. And then I'm going to, the subtitle will be a call for a new tremendous piece of very big, beautiful Mar-a-Lago chocolate cake.
And that is going to colour the way
I
he
want
treats
chocolate
us.
cake.
If you're not my friend, then I hate you, is sort of the way Donald Trump operates. And I don't think there's anyone on earth, let alone Trump himself, who thinks Albanese is genuinely a friend of Trump.
Well, Hyperbovian, Trump definitely does not have the temperament for politics. He definitely doesn't have the temperament to be a world leader. He's so sensitive and his ego is so fragile that he chucks tantrums if someone slightly pisses him off. It's very much like the Hassan, like, playbook, right? Like, Trump and Hassan, I'm not saying they're the same person. Obviously, they have polar opposite politics. But I mean, personality-wise, personality traits, is that very much like, you can agree with me on 99% of things, but that 1% that you don't agree with me on, I will hate you over. It's very much like that mentality. It's very much like a little rich kid mentality, right? Because they were both little rich kids. Like Donald Trump came from a very rich family, so does Hassan. It's very much like they're very used to being placated by people and having been surrounded by yes men and getting whatever they want. So when they don't, it hurts their brains and they have a meltdown.
So that's something that it's really difficult to see how we could possibly overcome it, how we could possibly convince him that Albanese is suddenly going to be his best mate.
And what? And what, Delta? I'm just saying, like, it would be the meltdown explanation, right?
The team here at the Embassy and the Government of Australia are ready to work closely with the new Trump administration to continue to realise the benefits of what is a very strong economic and security partnership.
We all know that Kevin Rudd,
They come from privileged backgrounds means they're bad? No, not necessarily. But it probably means that, you know, they're used to getting what they want. It probably means, you know, they don't necessarily have, what's a way I can word it? It means they probably don't necessarily have the emotional regulation skills to deal with things that are happening to them that they don't want to, like things out of their side they control. Because they're not used to that. They're not used to that, like, feeling of, yeah, not being able to control every variable. Because as a child, right, their parents would have been able to control every variable that affected their life, right? When you grow up poor, there are a lot of things your parents can't protect you from. If you grow up with money, your parents can basically protect you from every existential thing. No, I don't think people with money are bad. I think I've told this story before. The guy that I dated in high school, his family were very, very wealthy. And his family was so great, like so great to me. They like bought me school shoes. They did all these really nice stuff. They would like invite me on holidays, but I never had the money to go. But they, yeah, I used to stay at their place all the time because, yeah, they were really rich and they were really, really nice people. I know a lot of rich people who were really nice people. But I do think there's a certain type of resilience that comes from growing up in like a very insecure environment. Unless it gives you mental illness, it tends to make you like a lot more resilient to variables that you can't control. I don't hate rich people, Delta. I know I make jokes about it, but I'm just being silly. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate people based on anything. Because you can't help being born into a rich family any more than you can help growing up in a poor family. And honestly, if I had the choice, I would probably choose to grow up in money and not poverty, you know? Yeah, it's not, I'm just like noting what could possibly be the causes for the similarity in like their personalities from my perspective.
he thoroughly dislikes Trump. We know that, of course he does.
I mean, he has said the most horrible things. You were a destructive president, a traitor to the West, and he's now Australia's ambassador in Washington.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Would you say...
Why is Nigel Farage trying to stir up shit? Mind your own business. Worry about your own country, all right? Worry about, I don't know. Trying to think of something to tease the UK over. Worry about fixing your teeth, okay? I don't know. Does he have bad teeth? I assume he does. He's British. All right, let's go.
Would you take a phone call from him?
He won't be there long if that.
Nobody cares what I think. I'm female. Aw. It's true. It's true. Me and my little lady brain. Look, I'll tell you what happened. I escaped from my father. He was keeping me in the basement because I'm a loudmouth little bitch. And I bit him and I escaped. And then I said, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna go on the internet and spread all my feminist propaganda and I'm going to take over the world. And that's what I did. And you were careless enough to fall into my chat. And now I have your soul. So if you wake up tomorrow morning with some sharp pins and needles pain, it may or may not be from me. I can't make any It may or may not be because I put an ancestral curse on you and all your lineage for the rest of time. But just with my little evil female brain. That's what we do. We are all witches. You can't burn us all. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
It's the case. I don't know much about him. I heard he was a little bit nasty. I hear he's not the brightest bulb, but I don't know much.
He's not the brightest bulb. He literally graduated with first-class honors and he speaks fluent Mandarin. Not the brightest bulb. How many languages can you speak, Donald Trump? You can barely speak English. You have one language and you're not even proficient in that, mate. So maybe take it down a notch, all right? Leave Kevin alone. Kevin is a sweet baby angel. Trump's mum was fluent in Gaelic. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. Was it Scots Gaelic? I assume so, because isn't his family Scottish? Scots or Irish? I would assume it was Scots. My best friend's Scottish. Oh, okay, Scottish. Yeah, that is a cool language.
Much about him, but if he's at all hostile, he will not be there long.
Under the previous government, our ambassador to the US was Joe Hockey, former treasurer, and he got along with Trump quite well enough. He played golf with the president more than once, and I think it's probably underestimated the extent to which Trump does business on the golf course. It's a real habit of his.
That his policies are not only inflationary, but they're hugely expansionary. It's like a sugar hit. It's handing a box of chocolates to a 4-year-old.
I can't say with any confidence that Kevin Rudd does not play golf. I don't know anything about the man's hobbies, really, but I do.
Kevin Rudd grew up on a farm and his dad died when he was really, really young. And I believe it threw the family into poverty. So yeah, golfing and hobnobbing and networking probably weren't on his to-do list. Like what a stupid way to conduct yourself as a world leader. Absolutely like weirdo behavior. Oh, has Jay Copper gone? I want to talk to him. I hope he called a priest. I hope he's trying to break that curse I put on him because it's pretty potent. 0% of my enemies are alive to tell the tale, Jay Cobber, if you're still around, just so you know, mate. He's like, nobody cares what you think you're female. Bold assumption. Wait, I can't make my voice stupid up. That's a bold assumption of you to make. I've got a massive pair of balls. I can't make myself sound like a man. God damn it.
I find it hard to envision Kevin Rudd on the golf course with Donald Trump. And once Trump has decided that you are opposed to him, that you don't sufficiently respect him, he switches off like that. He just, the switch goes, he's not listening anymore. Reach the point where whatever you do or say, he's not interested. And I suppose the fear for us diplomatically is that that is where we have landed. You have officials under Trump who are still fairly professional, who are still willing to engage with Australia on the basis of the strength of our historical relationship rather than the strength of the current personalities. But there's an absence of any meaningful relationship at the top. And in some scenarios, that could cost us.
Is that necessary though? We would just need for the trade ministers to communicate. We would just need for the foreign ministers to foreign affairs ministers to communicate. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, the executive branch of government does have, some powers, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal. You're hanging in there. How about me? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. It's Friday, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very happy that it's Friday because if I had to go to work tomorrow, I might have a mental breakdown. It might just be too much. Mr. Melasma with some 20-year expired old concern trolling. They did this with Rudd the first time with the China dog whistling. Yeah. Which person has a melasma now? Why are all these men getting melasma? Is it from doing like steroids? Is that why like they're getting estrogen surges? Because I've only seen pregnant women and women on the pill get it. So it's like it's very concerning, I will say. You gotta be careful with the old hormones, you know? You gotta keep them balanced.